And so we are going to start, as we did last week, with the best of what we saw in the past 7 days. All right, Sean, and we can obviously touch on a couple of things, especially with only being the two of us. But what was the best of the last week in football for you?
Well, I mean, besides the obvious choice as an Eagles fan, I mean, to me, watching across the NFL, I mean, I think your storyline to this point's got to be Danny Dimes. I think Daniel Jones and what's going on in Indianapolis is I mean, it's not astounding because it's not like I've ever fully counted the Colts out at any time. Shifting quarterbacks threw me out of the bandwagon a little bit. But I got to tell you, I'm right back on it. I think that, they're sitting in a 2-game cushion over a team that what did happen? We had a unanimous choice of the Houston Texans, just kind of the best of what's around down there in the South. And now I'm watching them play and I'm seeing what I'm seeing in Houston and I'm seeing what I'm seeing in Indianapolis. And I don't know, Indiana Jones, it's got a nice ring to it. And they look good and they're playing good football and they're going to beat the Titans this week probably. And you're going to be rolling at 3-0. And even if you stumble against the Rams in week 4, 3-1 after the first quarter of the year is miles ahead of where they thought they would be at that stage. So good for Danny Dimes, good for the Colts. I think football's better when that franchise is good. And I think it makes for at least a competitive or somewhat more exciting South than what I think everybody was looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean the Indianapolis Colts. And let's see if I can find it here. In terms of your over under win total, we're at 8.5. I mean they're going to be well on their way to very likely, almost half of that before we're even out of September. The schedule does get a little bit harder. And in October, you have the Raiders who look like they're going to be kind of just
they're going to be up and down, but a challenge every week.
A challenging team. The Cardinals, Chargers, who look really good.
Cardinals defense looks way better than it has.
Yeah.
In the past. Yeah.
They still have games against the Chiefs out there. 49ers, if they ever can figure out what they want to be. But there's also still winnable games because you're still going to play every team in your division twice, and your division stinks. So there's a lot of wins out on the table. The Colts really at this point, looking at what that over under number is, I think we all were probably
the Jaguars took Joe Burrow out of a game, and then lost to them anyway.
Right, and I think
that's where the Jags are.
We didn't do over unders this year, but I think we would have all had the under on 8.5 for the Colts. Really, I mean, again, I was talking about Riley Leonard.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd have had it. Knowing Danny Dimes was taking over, I don't think I would have had it.
No, I was talking about Riley Leonard was going to quickly become the quarterback of the Colts. That feels like 1,000 years ago. And Devin says in the comments here, he goes, "Yet I'm still here as a Miami Dolphins fan," because you're a fan, Devin. You're a fan.
Good for you.
And that's the thing, man. I've seen the Notre Dame fan base, and obviously this is straying off of best of, but the Notre Dame fan base on Twitter just went nuclear on Saturday. Look, it's a bad start to the year. This is not what we expected. This is not what we signed up for this year after going to a national championship game literally this calendar year. January 20th, we were playing for a national championship. We, in theory, lost by 8 because of a junk time field goal. We basically lost by 1 score to the Ohio State Buckeyes in the national championship. And here we are 0-2, ranked 24. This isn't what we were expecting. We thought, man, maybe we lose to Miami, but we got Texas A&M. Our defense has been bad. Our offense has been good.
Had Texas A&M.
So. But man, it's, and I said to somebody was like, dude, even if we one sane Notre Dame fan I saw in the bunch was like, even if we go 0-12, I'm still going to be here. I'm like, because you're a fan. I'm convinced so many of the people I've seen, either they became Notre Dame fans in 2013 for some reason, or Like they're just they
Waited
just
that
kind of
long. Just
like
like,
they just kind of latched on like
Like-
last year, and it's like, first off, we've been through worse. We've
my
been
God.
through a lot worse. If you've been a Notre Dame fan for any period of time, like this isn't a team that's going to go 4-8. Like they're just not. They've lost to two top 10 teams by 4 points. Like we're gonna be okay. The schedule gets easier.
yeah,
It
that
does.
was the two. And unfortunately, with an easier schedule, you're going to start. Well, yeah, you're beating these teams, blah blah. But now you need to beat those teams, and
Yeah.
you need to beat them good. And so let's focus on that. And if you don't make the top 12, you don't make the top 12.
No, you have
like
you're and I get the AP poll and the college football playoff poll will be different, but you're 24th this week. You have to move up 13 spots. That's the goal in front of you now.
right, because you got to account for a potential auto bid, so you got to get to probably 11 to feel good.
Well, because there's going to be a group of 5 team that's gonna push out whoever's 12th, because I don't think there's going to be a group of 5 that's going to get to the actual top 12.
No, I don't. I think somebody's going to be out there.
So 11's your target, right? 11's your target. You have Purdue. Look, I don't want to make comparisons to last year when we lost to Northern Illinois, but last year you lose to Northern Illinois. Everything felt terrible. You went to West Lafayette and you kicked Purdue's teeth in. This Saturday in South Bend, that team from West Lafayette, Purdue, comes to town. Let's
Bring on the Boilermakers.
Let's get right by beating the Purdue. Okay, that's where we start. That's how we get things around. Mikey checking in here in the comments. Ernest has not crashed in yet. No, he will eventually crash in, possibly, maybe.
Trying to figure out Star Wars over here. Just tossing the word Commanders into the comments.
Right.
As you do know, this section's called the best of the week. The best.
Well, maybe in his defense, best football team that plays just north of Washington, D.C. this weekend.
I guess that could have been.
Could have been it.
Could have been it. I know Green Bay thought they were a fun time.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, they enjoyed the Commanders.
They absolutely did.
Had a good time.
They had a great time.
Jaden Daniels not such good of a time.
No, he didn't have a great time. Now could be out for a couple of weeks here.
Sorry, Star Wars, you still understand.
A lot of quarterback injuries early on here, so that's not a great thing either. Mine, and I will self-admittedly hit it here.
Homer.
Brandon Aubrey, 4 field goals on Sunday. Carrying
he was a finalist. He was a finalist for
carrying a couple of my fantasy teams to victories this week. 4 field goals, including a 64-yarder to tie a game in the drunkest final 48 seconds of an NFL game I've seen in a long time.
Just 2 teams just
didn't want to win. Just
drooling all over a field.
Nope,
no football.
Cowboys take a 4-point lead with 48 seconds to go. Russell Wilson, the Cowboys making Russell Wilson look like he's back in Seattle winning an MVP, or trying to. And
the defense doesn't look very ramped up in Dallas.
Not very good, the Cowboys defense. But
not great, Bob.
Cowboys offense looks pretty good. George Pickens, 98 yards over 2 games, getting plenty extra yards with pass interferences. CeeDee Lamb found his hands this week. Javonte Williams, top 10 in yards to start the year. So
looks good so far.
Welcome back to the NFL, Javonte Williams. Good to see you checking in.
Of course,
Miles Sanders didn't fumble this week. That's a good thing.
That's new for this year.
But the Cowboys. Then of course the game-winning field goal in overtime. Brian Schottenheimer's first win as head coach. So and look, and I said this on Twitter as EJ does crash into the studio. But I said it on Twitter. I was like, there's the video of the post game with them, Brian Schottenheimer shouting out the game balls and passing everything out. And I'm like, look, I don't know if he'll be the head coach even beyond this year. I really don't. I like
It almost
Brian
feels like a fall guy. Like
Yeah,
I
he
still to
does.
this moment, it feels like there's a guy like almost like the Vrabel in New England, where you bring in
Or not
Mayo,
Vrabel,
and I don't know that he was designed to
Gerard
be
Mayo,
a fall
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
What's up? Yeah, and it just they were just holding out for Vrabel maybe, and they're like, oh, he's available. See you,
Right,
Gerard.
like EJ, if you're gonna snort, just mute your microphone.
I'm trying to talk, man.
I think you're coming through your computer, bud. I think
Your mic's live, bro.
Oh, that's why. I
Yeah,
apologize.
you're
Hold on.
coming through
That's
the
why.
wrong mic.
There's a lot of body sounds coming through.
There's a lot of body noise. Yeah,
A lot of things.
but like,
Sounded like an old folks home
Good
in the
God.
winter time.
That's better.
yeah, get yourself right, man.
Ugh,
Yeah,
get
I'm
out.
good. I'm
Hang
good,
with that.
brother.
It's
I'm
horrendous.
good. How you doing, Sean?
Horrendous.
Yeah.
Nice shirt
Sweatshirt.
there, Sean.
Get your yaw shot.
Jeez,
What's up?
If you need to blow your nose, that sweatshirt will do just fine.
Yeah.
How are the Mets, by the way? They still in first?
Well, they're winning tonight. I don't.
San Diego right now.
They're clinging to life
I don't think
Shit,
they can
that-
catch
that-
the
you know.
NL East.
because
So
the Giants.
No, that's
wanna
over.
catch
That's
them
over.
bad.
That's over.
The Giants are not going to slow down.
no.
The Giants, they just that walk-off grand slam the other night was a phenomenal finish.
Yeah, and the Mets deserve it.
But like I was saying, I don't know. I don't know where the Brian Schottenheimer experience goes or how long it goes, but
It goes.
that team,
It's
those
here.
players, listen here, Coach of the Year Brian Dable allegedly.
He still
There's
deserved it.
Allegedly.
There's one place where that's going, by the way. But like that team looks like they really like Brian Schottenheimer. Like that as wild and silly and stupid as Sunday's game was, that they look like they like each other. So
Well, I think from an offensive standpoint, like they're a team of guys that wants to be flashy. They're a team of guys that wants to put up highlight reels. I mean, Pickens wants to be on the receiving end of, high flying, deep balls. He wants to get on the highlight reel, and I think CeeDee Lamb does too. But Lamb's just fine catching him over the middle and just burning somebody. But I think that he brings an offensive coaching package that lends itself to those guys. Now, obviously, Javonte Williams benefiting from either him or from a lack of Jalen Carter, and then the New York Giants. We'll see what happens in the next few games. Those are two pretty good recipes, but he's hitting it. I mean, like guys in Dallas the past few years have not. So,
right.
they're pushing the buttons that the previous teams couldn't
The
push.
Cowboys are and I
That says
shared
something.
this stat with you guys earlier today. The Cowboys are 2 rushing touchdowns away from matching last year's total.
That's insane, isn't it?
The Cowboys had 6 rushing touchdowns.
I mean, that's-
last year.
I mean, I knew last year was bad.
Right.
I didn't think that any aspect of it was that abysmal. Like that is a
Brutal.
horrendous stat.
Brutal. So bad.
No
So
one.
bad.
Terrible job.
How many do they have?
Terrible job. Terrible.
How many do they
Awful.
have this year? Like how many rushing touchdowns are we talking here?
What's 4? They're 2
They have
away.
4.
They have
last
4.
year was 6
They had 6
in 17
in
games.
17 games.
Please tell me I need to do research. I got to find out if they had a 2 touchdown game.
They,
If they
I
had
would.
a 2 rushing touchdown day. That makes
I
it
hope
even
they
worse.
did.
Makes it even.
And you
worse.
would think too in a year where you lose Dak for most of the year that you rely on the rushing on the running game, and
Well,
they
the
couldn't even
trouble
do that.
is everybody knew that. I guess.
Well, and I guess
Stack-
when you lose
stack them.
Dak, stack the box, and just force riptide
And then
rush.
you can't get anything going, and then you have to pass.
So I think what they were doing is they probably were getting more action in like the swing pass or the screen pass game.
yeah.
So like you probably had running back touchdowns that just weren't rushing touchdowns, but even still 6 over
By the
the
way-
course of 17 games.
By the way, Sean, I don't appreciate you stealing my best of the weekend for the record. If you think I missed that, you sound
Danny
sadly.
Dimes?
Out here on-
Wait. You know, if you think I missed that, you're sadly mistaken, sir.
Well,
Danny Dimes?
Get
You
here.
know I'm a
For the
Colts
Colts,
guy.
the Colts.
You know I'm
You
a Colts
you
guy.
are a Colts guy. To be fair, you are a Colts guy. You've been a Colts guy a couple of years actually.
Get here on time next time.
I've just liked everything they've done, and I liked Anthony Richardson, and I still kind of want to, even though
by
he's
the
not
way-
going to be a Colt when he does it.
Which, by the way, no one's ever heard that name whatsoever since the start of the year.
Is
Like,
he
he
Say
is-
still?
one thing, there's a lot of holes in QB rooms right now.
Is Richardson still hurt, or is he just?
Yeah, he's still he's hurt, but
I feel like he was preparing to start the year. Like I thought that was happening, and then they were just like, no,
they made the decision to start Daniel Jones.
right. And then it was kind of just maybe I think they just stopped talking about it. They were like, because then nobody cared. But if he's able to play, and you ever wanted to get some value out of him, like I would think this would be a pretty good time.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's a hot take. My buddy Jordan Buscarini was on my podcast a couple weeks ago, and fellow Notre Dame guy himself, and he said that a good fit for him would be going to the Rams.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. You're gonna have to wait a while, play behind Stafford, maybe learn something. But
Yeah,
I don't know. They got Garoppolo there, and then behind him they got
Stetson Bennett looked good.
I think they got a pretty good
preseason.
1-2.
Bennett looked good.
I think they're planning on a Garoppolo 2, and then eventually just have Stetson Bennett jump him.
Right.
And
I
just
will
keep
say that
Garoppolo as long as Garoppolo wants to play.
he will get another chance though. He's too talented enough, raw talent enough to he's not getting another
Well,
chance.
James, you and I were talking after the Burrow injury. How I said, well, get Kurt Warner on the phone, or Kurt Warner, get Kirk Cousins on the phone.
Kurt Warner, what the fuck?
Same thing.
I mean,
at
Kurt
this
Warner
point.
might be more mobile than Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins at this point.
That's just true. Yeah,
Well,
working.
you mentioned,
ACLs,
like, are there any mobile quarterbacks available? And
Richardson,
Richardson
Richardson
would be a guy that could run away, and those guys
Right,
love a guy with a
clearly.
cannon. If he's healthy, that's probably not a bad call for the Bengals to make.
Yeah,
Of course, I don't
mean,
know if you're the Colts and you're trying to maybe challenge for a wild card. I don't know if I want to give a boost. Just let them have whoever they have. You don't want to run into the Bengals later.
three-way trade. Like Cowboys get Richardson, the Cowboys send Mixon to Cincy, and Cincy sends a bucket of balls to Indianapolis.
There you go.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. It's been a
Joe
really
Flacco.
funny
That's who you wanna
season
get.
out the shoot, man. Very funny season out the shoot. Very
Yeah.
2 weeks.
It's
so far.
bizarre. I mean, it's like I
It
don't
is.
know. Like people that wanted a shorter preseason and keep guys healthy, all they got was instead of one game of action, these starters have 0. And so you come in with no knowledge, minus the young teams that need to see some reps and get some guys out there, or some QB competitions and things. You'll see some start. But I mean, how many teams actually played their starters for more than like 3 plays
Right.
Yeah.
in the none, because there's no time to really see anything.
Mike doesn't want Richardson.
I actually I'll take Browning over AR-15 also myself.
Well, yeah, I mean, as an all-around quarterback, absolutely. We were strictly talking about the fact that everybody's first reaction is call Kirk Cousins, and I'm like, okay, so he can get killed behind that offense,
Right. So in 3
Yeah.
games when he's dead,
like he's less mobile than Joe Burrow, and so like that's you're doing nothing by bringing in Kirk.
Well, that's
well,
the
the
concern.
Jets stink at running a football team. Maybe you
Right.
could just get him to trade Justin Fields.
Well, that's the concern I have with the Bengals too. Also, is not the fact that Browning couldn't hold the fort down for 3 months. I think he could. I think the offensive line is the issue.
Well, yeah,
That's the
and
thing. That's
Because is
good.
Browning going to survive? Like that's the
right.
Well, the line. If the line was above average, I would say yeah. The 2-0 out
only
the
that-
shoot. You play 500 football rest until
Most
December
teams put money into that offensive line. Where did their money go?
to a second receiver.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Good,
Good job,
choice.
Mike Brown.
But I mean, yeah, I mean it's been the issue
I mean,
we've
they're
talked
fun.
about
They're
for
fun to have.
half a decade on this show. EJ, what was your best of the week?
Well, I love to say mine, but like your brother here stole mine
Again,
Out of
get here on
Tampa.
time.
Out of
Why are you
Tampa.
inconsistent?
out
Will
of
you stop
Tampa.
it?
No, I actually got another one. And look, granted, it is a 2-week sample, but I think right now through 2 weeks, it is clear the Packers are the best team, the second best team in the NFC. I think.
I don't know if it's clear that the second. I think there's a lot of people that would tell you they look like the best team in the NFC.
No, and you hear
they're
that.
clear at least the second best.
Well,
right.
you hear. Well,
They're
well,
in the Rushmore and probably higher.
To
Yeah.
Sean's point, though, like the people saying, "Oh, the Eagles 2-0, but they look impressive." I disagree with that. I think the Eagles, you play
I mean, let
week-
them.
right. Well, yes, I'm saying number one, week.
I mean, at this point, if you wake up and it starts looking flashy again, they'll all shut up.
I'm
at this
not
point.
one to defend your team, but I also watch football. Week 1, you play your division rival. Okay, on first game of the year. There's pressure there to some degree. They're going to play up in that game, and they still won that game, even losing Jalen Carter. Week 2, you play the AFC champions. Like, what are we doing here? Like, you act like the Eagles are playing like the Titans or the Saints every week. No, they played some really quality teams here. So they're fine.
Well, to be fair, we
to
don't
be
know
the man,
if
to be the man, you got to beat the man. And Green Bay, they look really good. Beat Philadelphia first before you convince me the best team in the
We're
conference.
gonna get that chance in a few weeks.
To
There
be
you go.
fair, we don't know if the Chiefs are a good team.
To be fair,
Well, and I'll tell you what.
more on that
Chiefs,
later.
And I'll tell you what. That Chiefs schedule after this week ain't letting up. There's a Baltimore in there. There's a Washington in there. There's a Detroit in
Yeah,
there.
they get
There's-
2 downs in the next 4. I think.
Their own division alone. Frisky Raiders, Broncos are still decent. I think overrated personally, but
I think
whatever.
they get 2 downs in the next few weeks. Two easier ones, and
Right, so they better get
on.
but Jim, can you and Sean, could you imagine a world, a Chiefs going on 3? Oh my God!
I mean,
I've already imagined it.
well, I was going to say, I think there's a lot of people in this country who have
Beautiful
imagined it,
feeling.
but they have the Giants. You know, like they're going. I know it's a road game. They're going to the Giants.
The Giants
you-
can't score that many points against the Chiefs.
That says that. By the way, that game with Dallas says more about the Dallas defense than the New York Giants.
It was pretty
for the record,
bad.
Okay,
It was some
correct.
bad
you let
defense on
Russell
both
have his
sides.
best game of his career like that. That's
Right,
That's a,
and
that's
look,
a
I mean,
Cowboys problem.
The Cowboys, the defense wasn't going to be great to begin with, and they were without Deron Bland. They were without a couple guys on D. Trevon Diggs doesn't look 100%.
Micah.
So, no, it's not even about Micah at this point.
No, I understand it, but when you trade Michaels too before the year starts,
Right, but
you
like,
just had that on your belt. He
well,
wasn't-
and, he until it's a big game, and then he fails to show
But
up.
I told James when I
course, yeah.
talked about that game after it, I was like, when Russell Wilson stepped into that throw at the end of the fourth quarter, the moment he let go of it, I was like, that's a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
He has a different demeanor when he knows it's going to get there.
Yeah.
than if
he
it's
has
just
he has one.
You
of,
can tell
if
when he's
not-
throwing a prayer and when he's throwing a
Yeah.
promise. And
he has
he was
he
throwing
has
a promise.
he has one of, if not the best deep ball in
Well,
Adams
and I
history.
said, and with Neighbors getting turned to the side as the ball's arriving, which was a no call, by the way, but whatever.
Mhm, mhm.
Point is, it didn't matter because even when he couldn't see that ball, he was just waiting for. He had his hands ready. He's like, it's got to
Right.
be here.
Yeah.
like I know I've run this route before, and there it was. Just I don't even think he was looking at the ball when he caught it. It was quite a play.
So strange thing, a little insight. So I got a buddy of mine, Mario, and him and I have a bet going. See, he's a Cowboys fan.
Okay.
So I bet him. So the overall number we had was 8.5 wins for the Cowboys. I bet him $100 that he bet me and I took the bet that the Cowboys will win more than 8.5 games. He disagreed. Now him, the Cowboys fan,
I think you have a
disagree
problem.
with me. So we're actually watching the game, rooting against our teams because of the bet. It's so fucking
Wait,
weird.
so the bet is you say the Cowboys are going to get to 9 wins or better.
Yeah, I said that before the year started. He said no,
Okay.
and he's the Cowboys fan for the record.
Okay.
Diehard too, but he's also very, very realistic about his team. Almost like you. And we're sitting there watching the game, and we're rooting against each other, rooting against our teams, sort of a little bit because of our bet.
Yeah,
but I'm like Neighbors. Oh my god, yes, but no.
I think the next 4, maybe 5 games, because we're going to learn a little bit more about the Commanders here soon as well. But the next 4 to 5 games are where both of you are going to figure out who's going to end up eating $100, because for the Cowboys you're at Chicago, then you play Green Bay. Obviously, Green Bay, that looks to be an automatic L at this point. But Chicago, Jets, Panthers, Washington, Denver, and then the Cardinals before you go into the bye.
I can
That's a
find 3
stretch.
wins there.
Week 10.
Three wins
Really,
there.
like if you're going to go over 8.5, you got to win
3 or 4.
all but 2 of those.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, you're going to lose
You
to
could probably drop
Green Bay.
Green Bay and one more.
Maybe lose to Arizona. You need to clean up the rest.
Not gonna lie.
One and beat the other, then you're
Even
in
though
good
Dallas won on Sunday, that the bet don't feel good to me because that defense is like fucking crap.
It's bad. It's really bad.
All right,
Now,
Clowney will clean
granted,
it up.
you're going to
Clowney-
get Deron Bland back. They're going to keep working into the system. Again, this is a new defensive system as well.
Clowney, yeah, he's
Huh.
showing up in camp.
I mean, it's
As if I needed another reason to hate him.
it's better than nothing.
I agree with you 100%. This is like
You know what I mean? At this point, like, what are you going to? Are you?
I mean, how many times has Jerry literally done nothing and all we've done is criticize him? At least he's like, okay, look.
right? He's trying
I'm
something.
trying.
That looked bad.
Dude, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, and I understand that that there's probably not a deal to be made there, but if I'm the Cowboys on Jerry Jones, I'm calling the Bengals about Hendrickson. Like, what's it going to take? We have money. We have draft picks now. Like, can we make a deal? Like, try something.
Yeah, I'm not sure the Bengals are going to make a move on that until they know what the offense looks like. If they need the defense to stand on its head and they need him to play, then they're going to keep him around. They're just going to force.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm at least making the call.
Can't hurt.
Doesn't hurt to make.
It can hurt if you're calling Dallas, because apparently Jerry Jones is just like, that's not how we do deals,
right?
And then just like never does deals with you again.
Exactly.
By the way, I did read the Eagles had the biggest offer on the table. Yeah. Which I guess if in order to land him, you would have had to.
And shockingly, Jerry didn't just go for the biggest deal. So, because then out of the bye, you have Raiders, Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Washington, and the Giants.
It gets a lot tougher there.
It gets a lot tougher after the bye. So
if you're going to get to 9 wins, you need to have like 6 or 7 by the time that stretch starts.
And I love money, so how about them Cowboys? Let's go.
There you go. There you go. Love hearing EJ say that.
How about